The following is brought to you in part by a grant from the Foundation for White Wellbeing.
Those who never back down, stone by stone, they built this Well, hello, hello. We are rolling and going free. This is Church of the West. I am your hierarch. Thank you so much for stopping by today at Church of the West. You're the best of the white race. Every single one of you who decided to show up here on this Wednesday, as we always do, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we get together for Church of the West midweek roll in to make things happen in service of white well-being. Give us a little boost so that we can continue swashing gloriously in all of our circles of influence so that we can change the world. While we're together here today, you can tag me as @symbol, no white guilt, no spaces, nothing touching it. I don't think it has to be cap sensitive, but you could use caps as well if you'd like. You can also financially gift while we're here today. You could do so at the app that permits cash. You can do so, and the links to these are in the description below. You could do so at Subscribestar. I don't suggest Entropy seems like they're getting things up and running. They responded to me. They're searching for a new bank with which to work. But until they have a bank, maybe we should hold off on financially gifting through Entropy at the moment. But I think I don't know if it's even working. It might not be working. It might not be. Well, maybe it is. Let's see what this. Yes, it does appear to be. It does appear to be working, but as far as showing the stream, but maybe we hold off on Entropy. If you happen to financially gift there, then it is what it is. You'll still be celebrated. You can also financially gift on D Live and Rumble. You can tag me on all of those platforms, as well as X, up and running, of course. And I have to check to make sure it's still up and running. YouTube and Odyssey. All of these are options for you to tag yours truly so that we can have a conversation here. Always a lot to talk about. And we have a couple of stories we're going to get into. A quick news and laughs, as we are wont to do. And we're going to have a magnificent guest. It's the one and only OT leader, Biospirit of the West, will be joining us a little bit later in our gathering, so keep an eye out for that. And let's see, it does appear that we are operating properly on X today, which I'm kind of surprised that I believe I've lost about 200 followers, or nearly 200 followers in 2 or 3 days. So it is what it is. It is what it is. The silencing is what it is. But hello to everybody. We have already over there. Bone Secure is over there. Good to see you. Savage Monday. Dallas Malloy. And then, is that Guys? Maybe it is. 07 to you. And welcome. Good to see you all over there on Premium Rumble. And great to see everybody here on the live chat. Remember, switch it over to live chat on YouTube, because if it's on top chat, you'll miss some of the chats from others. Maybe even your own won't show up. I don't know. The great Franklinator is with us. Rapunzel, Justin, Eva, the nameless one, Julian, Dan, so many champions, and Firelight. So many. Happy White Wednesday, says Brian. Yes, indeed. Happy White Wednesday to you. And let's see, who else do we have here potentially? Anybody that has shown up yet? I think we got a cozy crew in the pews today. Is that Sonia Sawan? Hello and welcome. Good to see you. Welcome. And anybody else? Am I missing anybody? You know how the monitors like to play tricks on me. Cool Papa J Magic is right there. And Cool Papa J Magic is so ever present. He's omnipresent, and he is like the cathedral in which we sit. Great to see you, champion. And is this Therese? Is that well? Hello and welcome. All right. Well, Potter is here. I guess you all have seen the news. Before we jump into that, we operate the premier institution in service to white well-being. It is called the Foundation for whitewellbeing.org. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later with the OT leader of the West. It's a magnificent thing. There's been a glorious edition that we celebrated this past Sunday. If you would like to support the White Races ADL, the White Races Southern Poverty Law Center, the White Races NAACP. It exists, and there's only one of them that has ever had any success, and has had success in every circle of life because it is an application of the Go Free dialogic. There's only one. So stop starting new ones. Stop re-envisioning old strategies that have failed for many generations. This is where it's at. You can head on over directly to that 501c3 at the URL I just gave. You can also head on over to nowhiteguilt.org. You'll find a link to that foundation as well as nowhiteguiltcollectibles.com. So many things there to choose from. You'll find a snail mail address as well as cryptocurrency wallets that you could use to financially gift me. And what else? What else is there to discover? If you look in the description under the live stream and under the videos on YouTube, that's No White Guilt on YouTube, you'll find links to Cindy Ben's blog, and the Westman magazine is there. Numerous creators of our music. About 99% of the music we play, 99.5% of the music we play are either created by legitimate musicians or music makers right here in this community, all inspired on the inside. We got video games, we have books, we have all the tools you could need. We have stickers, we have flyers, we have everything you could possibly. We even have a Go Free Chat GPT and so much more that you can peruse and make use of so that you can become a better you, a more powerful you. That's what we need you to do, and to take charge of your environment, promulgate these concepts, the white magic of Go Free, so that we can change the world, so that we can stop any more of this phenomenon that we have seen throughout our lives, and that is the butchering of our people, the raping of our people, literal as well as figurative, the maiming of our people, so that we can put an end to it and recapture our destiny. And specifically today, we're starting off with something that is not unexpected. Iryna Zarutska, Matt Van Swole tweets here, just so everyone understands what just happened in Charlotte, North Carolina today. DeCarlos Brown Jr., a 14 times arrested violent offender, murders Iryna Zarutska on video in a most hellish way. She stabs her directly in the throat. Knife goes all the way through to the spine, and she bleeds out in the seat. You all know the story. Evaluated for mental competency, he said after he gutted this innocent young white woman, "I got the white bitch." He says that on video. And of course, the courts, the anti-white courts, have found him. They've evaluated him, and they've found him to be mentally incompetent, and therefore he cannot be tried for murder. We'll get into the actual article here. Crazed homeless man accused of slaughtering Iryna Zarutska on train, found incompetent to stand trial. I want you to know that if you don't go free and you don't promulgate the tools that we have here in service to white well-being, this will be you. This will be your family, if it hasn't already been. If you or your family haven't already suffered a murder in the family as a consequence of anti-whiteism, you will. And the anti-white courts, because of the social morality that is anti-whiteism, will find an excuse to not punish your murderer, your rapist. As long as they're anti-white, and in particular non-white anti-whites, they will find any and every excuse. This is nothing special. You know, as much as infuriating, as angering it is to see this happening, Iryna Zarutska is being slaughtered again. As infuriating as it is, we know all the reasons why it's happening. We have the tools to remedy it from happening ever again. But you're not going to be able to sit in the stands and complain that the team isn't doing well enough or a politician isn't doing well enough. This requires all hands on deck. That means you. Doesn't matter what your job is or how impecunious you are. It means you got to get involved. So let's go ahead. I just got to point out there. I mean, it's like this article's already been written and read 10,000 times by yours truly. and so many of the rest of you who have either come to this with some degree of blindsight, or this is completely brand new, and you're having these epiphanic moments, and you're hearing these testimonials, these magnificent testimonials, whatever it might be. This article has been written again and again, and it will continue to be written again and again until we become a people and are thereby able to influence our social environment, the social morality. Everything is downstream. Culture is downstream from the social morality. Politics is downstream from the social morality. Laws are downstream from the social morality. And you can see different countries, how they handle the application of law or the inapplication of law to be in accord with the social morality of the West, which is the psychological warfare called anti-whiteism. They can handle it different ways, but they always arrive at the anti-white outcomes. For example, in our once great country of South Africa, there are no butchering of white people by anti-white non-whites. There are no gang rapes of white people by anti-white non-whites. There are always, according to the law there, a home robbery gone wrong, a pickpocketing gone wrong, a confrontation gone wrong. That's how they craft these things. Every time there's a charge, I've seen more than I can count, and probably so have you, of the most hellish crimes imaginable, where they invade the farm, they invade the home, they gang rape the family in the most brutalistic, sadistic, ritualistic, maniacal possible way, and kill everybody, fillet their skin, cut them up with tools, rusty farm tools, and even the children. And then when they are arrested, it's a case of mistaken identity. It's a case of this is your future. Iryna is all of us. This is your future. And the white race is going to continue. It's going to find you. It's going to find your family until the white race smartens up, stops being a coward, stop indulging conspiracy theories, stop indulging notions about cowarding off, cravening off into the hills, white flighting somewhere again. Stop indulging absolute childish fantasies about creating political parties and think tanks that are going to make a difference in the world. How many Zarutskas do we got to have? How many times do the Iryna Zarutskas have to get butchered and then rebutchered and the memory forever butchered and then put down the memory hole so that nobody ever hears about it again, and white people move on with their lives because, thank the good Lord, it wasn't them personally? Not yet. How do they handle it in Canada? Well, in Canada, they have a very specific term for it, and it is a body of laws and provisions in Canada called restorative justice and restraint. Restorative justice and restraint. It's a body of law that continues to grow and a body of provisions that continue to grow to ensure that the application of the law is in keeping with the anti-white social morality of the country. Now, the anti-whites in Canada are still careful enough to not specifically say in most of these provisions and most of these laws that non-whites, when they victimize white people, will be handled with kid gloves. They're careful to not put that in as blatantly. They do in some places, but in other places they don't make it as blatant in the black and white, which undermines conservatives in Canada, as though there are any left, which undermines them because they can't point to a law and say, well, that's unfair. That's not the proper application. Written this way intentionally so that anti-whites and juries and grand juries and en banc judges and on, they can come to the social moral conclusion. And that is that they are supposed to take into consideration that the non-white person is non-white when they murder and rape you. And so the judge is supposed to consider, the judge panel is supposed to consider how horrible their life was, according to the anti-white narrative, as a consequence of the existence of white people. And so they have to take that into consideration when prosecutors even determine, should this person be charged? Or should this matter, this rape or this murder or this maiming, be handled in a way outside of courts to not further injure these angelized non-white victims of the anti-white narrative? How do we get here? How did we get here? Indeed. Well, we have 80 champions with us today, and that's part of the reason why over the years this has been my experience with sharing what works, and the vast majority deciding that they want something else. They want to be able to complain. They want to be able to give their flaccid interpretations. They want to be able to give their prognostications. They want to be able to get, and their solutions, their flaccid, pathetic solutions. And so we see so many of these content creators out there. I mean, for the love of God, you have Alex Jones. These people are such taboo grifters. And he has a colossal audience, and it just continues to grow like his waistline. And now he's calling for Trump to be pulled out of office, 25th Amendment. He's crazy. And all of this is just poking taboos. All of this is just bill paying by these people. But they get mighty audiences. And while they build themselves mighty audiences, and Alex Jones and so many of these other people that you think are just average folks are filthy rich online. These content creators are not average people. They are filthy rich from giving you what enriches themselves, not what empowers you. I'm here giving you what empowers you. I'm here giving you something that you take into your life, changes your world for the better, enables you to win these conversations, enables us to recapture our destiny. And as a consequence, I am impecunious. As a consequence, no money here. As a consequence, few people here, not the people who come here, the champions who come here, want to be empowered. So here we are. That's how they handle it in Canada now. Go figure that these notions that the Jonesians out there and the bubble boys out there that have been sharing, that there are cabals here of different natures, or cabals there that are omnipotent in strength and just bitching about them and saying all of your problems in your life are a result of this cabal's existence. And then you now have a nice crutch that you can go around excuse to yourself as you drive down the road your miserable shit life, instead of having a destiny, instead of having a purpose. You know where purpose comes from? Do you know where it comes from? You know why so many filthy rich people have magnificent cars and homes and their lives are miserable? Do you know why? Because purpose doesn't come from that. You exist to serve a purpose. People ask, why am I here? You are here to serve Western kind if you're white. That's your raison d'être. That's your reason for being. That purpose is sown into your existence. You were not created as a standalone, and God has some specific, or creator or nature or whatever it is, has some specific thing for you. You are the center of the universe. You exist as a link in a chain, and you have no value if you do not perform that role. Do you understand that? So you can be like the wealthy, and you can, or really of any wealth or lack thereof, and you can try to drown this giant hole in your soul with alcohol and drugs and cars and vacations and sex, or for most of the guys nowadays, I guess it's just mostly pornography, and not even a lot of that because of the low testosterone. You can fill this void. You can try to fill it with video gaming in mom's basement endlessly. You could fill this void by thinking that you deserve, no matter what you look like as a young woman or any age woman, that you deserve like a guy who has a pretty face, a 9, and you could just wait around as time marches by for you. You can sit back and think, well, I'm going to fill this void with that thing. It's got to be some pretty faced guy. It's got to be the new video game. It's got to be the next movie. It's got to be the really cool sports car. But guess what happens when you pour that shit into that void? It disappears. Nothing ever fills the void. Nothing. Because the void there is a very specific structure, and it's meant for you to assume the purpose for which you exist. You create the purpose that is baked into the biospirit of our people. That is how you have a life worth living. That is how you have a fulfilling life. That is how, by the by, we create actual magic in the body of our people. You want to know why the white race is so weak? It's because there's no magic left in the white race. The filling the void with the purpose of our choice to do that which we were born to do is, in its aggregate, with our brothers and sisters, the substance of magic. It is the substance of magic. We love to look at movies and see like a sorcerer. You look at Lord of the Rings, and then you have whatever the sorcerer's name is. Or I guess they had a few of them. You have whatever, and we think, wow, that's a really fascinating thing that this guy can wield magic. Human beings are able to wield magic, but not as solitary individuals. We are able to wield magic together. And that's going to be something that can't be told to very many people. It's something that has to be shown. But when enough of us come together to serve the purpose that was born in us, baked into our biospirit, magical things begin happening. So you see in Canada, they have this complex mechanism to justify your rape, to justify your throat being slit, to justify. And in America, it has predominantly worked by way of just the interpretation of those in the nodes of power, sitting as judge, sitting as prosecutor. And if you are a midwit and you say, well, then we got to get rid of the prosecutors and judges that are acting like that, then just understand, thinking about what needs to be done in this area, at least, is not for you. This is about the survival of our people. There is an ideological phenomenon called anti-whiteism that is behind this, that we have to fight. And the reason why we haven't been winning this fight, the reason why it always ends up like this, where our young women are butchered twice, is because you've been thinking about what needs to be done when you were not born for that role. I mean, the white race used to really have a grasp on destiny. But is it anti-whiteism, of course, playing a role? Is it the idea of democracy playing a role? Probably so. But people are born for, there's nothing you can do to change it. If you are not born to lead in this fight for our well-being, you need to accept that reality and then serve in what way you can. The deranged homeless man. So the anti-white black terrorist who murdered, not who's accused, he's on video, who savagely butchered, they got that right, Iryna Zarutska, a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee, on a 23-year-old white woman. A 23-year-old white woman. She is one of ours. She's not a Ukrainian. She's all that comes second. All that comes third. Butchered her on a Charlotte light rail train. This anti-white black monster has been found incapable to proceed on state murder charges, according to a motion filed on April 7. DeCarlos anti-white terrorist Brown Jr. was evaluated December 29 at Central Regional Hospital, and the subsequent report determined he was not competent to stand trial. So he gets away with it. Gets away with it. I mean, we read this every single week. Several times a week. You get enough news. What more do you need to see? What more do you need to know? Do you want that to stop? Do you want our young white women to stop being butchered twice? Well, you got to go free. Period. Period. Stop creating new organizations. Stop creating new parties. Stop creating new think tanks. We've got something that's working. Why aren't you participating? So there she is. Butchered again. by the anti-whites. The first butchering was by DeCarlos, the anti-white terrorist, that was only in position because of anti-whiteism and the white erasure of our norms. And now the anti-whiteism in our courts, the white erasure of our norms in our courts, our application of law, interpretation of law, is butchering her again. It's beyond sickening. Beyond sickening. So let this fire you to work that much harder at promulgating the lexical and dialectical armory of the Go Free dialogic. That's what this should do for you. That's what it does for me. That's how I'm here year after year after year after year, even though I have an audience the size of a brand new fucking 15-year-old YouTuber. I'm not making any money. Have an audience the same size as a 15-year-old little girl who just started her channel on YouTube because of the shadow boosting in part, but also because the white race is sick and they don't want to heal. They don't want to participate in their healing. But here I am. Day after freaking day after freaking day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And people then look out at the world. I don't know if you all have anything to say about that. Let me know. High Speed Drifter is here. Good to see you. Who else do we have here? First Lass is in the house. Says, we love you, Jason. Much love back, my good brother. Much, much love back. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Cindy Ben is in the house. Best friend of Jesus is with us. Shannon Oliver is here. I don't take it slow is with us. Hello and welcome. Stumbling is here. Stumbling said, it goes both ways, though. The grifter audience love the empty calories of useless slop entertainment. 100%. Yeah, there would not be any taboo grifters if there weren't an audience for it. Make no mistake. If we had a robustly healthy race, every charlatan that showed up would be run out of town. Charlatans, mountebanks, and the toadies that accompanied them, celebrating them for the valueless slop that they provide, would all be run out of town. They were run out of town all the time in the past. They would roll into town, and dumb people and then maybe some smart people would fall for their gimmicks and fast talking. But then as soon as the town found out, whoa, this is not what it claims to be, they'd run them out of town. They used to be itinerant. They used to have to travel from town to town because of it. They couldn't set up shop somewhere and then that was it, because our people were healthier. Now our people are sick as hell. So Stumbling's right. They show up and they want the empty calories of the slop that is provided by the entertainers, taboo grifters, people in the anti-Jew economy, as we're seeing people like Lazi slide right into. It's an economy. They're making money. You know, something else that's important to point out as we go on to the next thing that we wanted to talk about, something else that's important to point out is that you notice how the anti-white Jews don't look at white well-being and decide to finance and promote it like they do. You keep finding out about them, either anti-white Jews financing the right-wing movements or even not neo-Nazi movements. You find this out all the time. All the time. We find this out. But you don't find them looking out at the world and saying, you know what? A lot of people are getting a bad idea about our people. And so you have this group over here that only condemns anti-white people. They won't condemn people on the basis of their birth. So let's finance them so that they can be out there loud and proud and in everybody's faces so that all of this anti-Jew sentiment can be turned toward opposition to the anti-whiteism. Why don't we do that? You know why they don't do that? You know why? Because playing the villain in the anti-white narrative as a member of the white race is the most destructive thing for our well-being that anyone can do. Playing the villain in that fiction, nothing is more detrimental and harmful. And you get all of these people embroiled in that. And then these are the folks that show up at the people they put right in your face. The people that in these different Rolling Stone, CIA operated, The Spectator, they'll give you their names there over and over so the public knows who to go to, who to give your dollars to, who to give your loyalty to. Well, across the West, we see anti-whiteism afoot. We see the challenge of people groups in our midst gaining numerical courage. You have to study Go Free to understand what that means. Gaining numerical courage and then able to effectuate their desire, their will, their biospiritual projection in our environment. And since we're deracinated, since we don't have a people, we are unable to push back. But content creators are not talking. We're talking about it. Other content creators are not talking about it. Maybe you're not playing your part by telling enough people that we do these gatherings and that we have something of value and that everybody else has demonstrated they have nothing of value. So what you have here is the phenomenon of people groups. And this is something we've talked about before, that even if other races were in our midst, gain numerical courage, even if they and within those other races, there being groups, a percentage of the overall race that views themselves as a people and therefore endeavors to get individual well-being by way of group well-being, that the outcomes are almost always going to be, as they seek to change our environment to meet their environment, what they enjoy, what they like, those outcomes are invariably going to be anti-white. Invariably. So what do you have going on in Texas with Greg Abbott? What do you see? You see exactly what Jason has been arguing all along. You have all of this garbage out there, taboo grifters and anti-schmucks, the anti-non-whites, and in particular the anti-Jews. And they'll point to that percentage of the overall Jewish people, that percentage that works together for individual well-being by way of group well-being, and they'll say, look at how influential they are. That's not fair. And then I come along as an adult and say, fair doesn't matter. Fair, we're not in a nursery room. There is no fair. Where's the teacher who is going to come and break it up? We're in the real world. We're adults. There is no fair in the jungle. This is happening because we lack a people group and they have one. And they are naturally going to endeavor to do what serves their well-being. That's a beautiful thing. It is a sickness when you don't act that way. It is a deep sickness when your people do not behave that way. And you can see the results all around us. So I said, this is not particular to Jews. Any group of people can do this. And in fact, they all do it except for us. They all do it. And so we've had for the longest time people talking about the threat of the mestizos, because they're pouring into the country every single day. And they have been for so many years, and having tons of children and changing our environments to match their biospiritual projections and on and on. And I was telling people long before they were ever talking about Indians, I was telling people, no. The Indian community, tiny in this part of the United States when I was young, I knew a lot of them. They're far better at working together. They're brighter as well. They're much more civil, even if maybe their average IQ might be the same as the majority of, or the average IQ of Latinos. They're much more civil, and therefore being less prone to violence than maybe some others. They're able to do amazing things, and they're always, I grew up with them, they're always thinking about cutting out more and more for themselves and their people. Not only that, but when they're talking about taking bigger and bigger chunks, taking over this industry or that, they're mindful about not harming other Indians. That's a fascinating thing, isn't it? So I've been telling people, no, this group right here, and they will use anti-whiteism. They can be, any of them individually can be anti-white. But what did we see ideologically? What did we see in Texas? We just covered the story of a judge, an Indian from India judge, and his chief of staff. He wanted to run for office. And what did they do? Who knows what they were ideologically? They might have been anti-whites ideologically. But as criminals, they saw the usefulness of anti-whiteism. And they used it. They wrote fake messages to themselves from white supremacists to get the sympathy, not only of their own people, but of course, the white race. Not only the sympathy of the white race, but the deference. You should be in office because of the way these white supremacists had treated you. So the problem is anti-whiteism. Not Jews, not Indians. And anti-whiteism exists because we don't have a people based on our birth. So what else is happening in Texas? Well, during Diwali, this past Diwali, the governor there, Greg Abbott, sitting under a portrait I left visible in the thumbnail of Sam Houston, one of the fathers of Texas, surrounded by Indians with bucks. Politicians, people in office, look out the world and they say they're concerned with voters, all right, but it's not the kind of voting you're thinking. That's a secondary or tertiary concern. Is the average Joe or Juan or Mahmoud or whatever going and casting a vote? No, the primary concern is, where is the organized political will? And it's always going to be, and always shown throughout history, in the bodies of people groups. So when Indians have moved in record numbers to parts of Texas, and they naturally come together in their very civil way that they're able, relative to some other groups of people, come together for individual well-being by way of group well-being, you suddenly find politicians surrounded by multi-millionaire Indians. Who is the politician going to serve? Does the number of Indians matter? No. What matters is there a block, a significant block of a people group that is interested in satisfying and fulfilling their well-being by way of paying my ass off? That's how this works. That's how this has always worked. Everybody's too dumb to listen. Everybody's got an opinion. So let's listen to Mark Dice here talk about what happened with Greg Abbott.
We need to talk about the legal immigration problem again, something that the Republican leadership is.
Let me point out, I say it right on the thumbnail. The Democrats want white erasure, the white erasure of the population specifically. They want white erasure in every other aspect of our societies as well, but the white erasure of the white population. So we don't have to be exterminated. We don't have to be, our percentage just has to be dwindled by way of an expanding overall number. Boy, math is tough, isn't it? So they want it, but so do the Republicans. The Republicans absolutely, unfailingly want the white erasure of the white population. They just demand that it's done legally. And how do they make it happen legally? Well, they just write it in. They just write the law. They just open the doors to them having a legal process. So it's not a lie, as the Democrats would have you believe, that this is some sort of lie that they don't want No, they absolutely value non-white people more than white people, just like the Democrats do. They just want that white erasure to happen legally, as though these systems that we have created beyond us, that our flesh and spirit created beyond us, are the things that are the substance and hold the real value, rather than the creator of those things.
Fully on board with. And when talking about the immigration problem in general, they always love making the caveat, well, we support legal immigration. We just want the immigrants to come here through the proper channels. No, we don't want any immigrants to come here ever for the next 100 years.
So let's stop using this. They want legal immigration. The Democrats want illegal. Let's say it like it is, for what it is, for how it intersects our existence. The Republicans want legal white erasure. The Democrats are fine with illegal white erasure. Let's say it for what it is. Let's put the focus on us. They want to say legal immigration. No, it's legal white erasure. Have that conversation with Aunt Marge at the next dinner. Have that conversation. She's a supporter of a Republican candidate, and she's all for legal immigration. So cut her off and say, Marge, you mean legal white erasure? I'm not for any white erasure. Why would you be for white erasure, legal or otherwise? Marge, if you have a town of 500, and listen to what's happened in Frisco. If you have a town of 500 white people, and that town's population goes up to 2,000, and all of the additions are non-white, has the white population not been white erased? You won't see them out on the streets anymore. You won't see their expression in the storefronts. They're being white erased, Marge. So I'm not for legal white erasure. What do you all think of that? We need some memes. We need some memes absolutely right now. And I bet you King Dice would pick it up if and when he hears us swashing it on him.
Especially from non-European countries.
As long as I'm governor of this great state, Texas will be a land for the Indian community, a land for...
So as long as he's alive, Texas is going to be a land for the Indian community. Do you think this son of a bitch would say that about the white race? Hell no.
This clip is from October from Diwali, an Indian Hindu festival, which has been cluttering up our calendars on our digital devices for years. Most people just had no idea what it was. But over the last few years, Republicans especially have been virtue signaling, celebrating it, posting on social media and wishing Indians and Hindus happy Diwali because they're trying to cozy up to the millions of Indians who have invaded us, largely through the H-1B visa program and student visa program. And so that's why we have people like Greg Abbott now saying that Texas is the land for Indians, which just so happened to coincide with the release of a very interesting, very disturbing documentary from YouTuber Tyler Oliveira called I Exposed Texas is Indian Invasion.
This is Frisco, Texas, a once quiet farm town turned home to one of the largest and fastest growing Indian communities in America.
Where are you from?
India.
From India?
I'm from India.
South India. I'm an H-1B.
I'm into IT. Motherland India or Texas, USA?
Obviously, Motherland India.
Obviously,
Motherland India.
as the Indian population exploded from 3% to 33% of the population since the year 2000, many Texans are outraged, declaring there has been an Indian invasion.
Which explains why Ted Cruz and other politicians are posting their happy Diwali messages. This from Senator Cruz. Heidi and I are wishing a very happy Diwali to our Indian friends in Texas, America, and across the world. May the new year be filled with light, truth, and peace. Now,
Franklin's asking about conservatives and whether or not they should vote for Vivek in the gubernatorial election in Ohio. Vivek is fanatically race proud and anti-white. So 100% no. This guy is not going to, as a run-of-the-mill conservative Republican chump, mire or slow down anti-whiteism even in the slightest. He's going to expedite anti-whiteism. So 100% no. First Last loves the, saying brilliant Jason, loves the legal white erasure versus illegal or indifference to how it happens white erasure. Thank you,
post
brother.
would have been a parody just a few years ago, but now, because the Republican Party is transitioning, catering to the tens of millions of illegal Latinos that are here, they're also now catering to the countless millions of Indian invaders. Here's Texas Governor Greg Abbott discussing how he traveled over to India in order to facilitate more of them coming to America.
Hi, Governor Greg Abbott here. I am now in Mumbai, India, after a 17-hour flight. You might be able to tell from what's surrounding me.
You might be able to smell the stench from the Ganges River.
It looks very tropical where we are right now on the water here in the hotel that we'll be staying at. We're looking forward to getting engaged and meeting with the people as well as the businesses here in India that we are already doing business with, working to develop those relationships even more.
To flood Texas with even more. So
the financial boon of an organized people group that are willing to pay politicians to get outcomes that are beneficial to them. You see how that works?
This documentary by Tyler, which I'll try to link up in the description below if I remember after I upload this video, shows not just that there's been an invasion of them, but they're abusing the H-1B visa loophole.
Firelight saying, looks like he's trying to garner the Indian vote. It's not the population Indians. It's the organized wealth of Indians who have a people group and are willing to or who endeavor to benefit themselves by benefiting their people group. That's an organized people group who's willing to put their money where their mouth is always going to have their way with politicians, whether it's Indians, whether it's Chinese, whether it's Jews, whether it's blacks, whether it's Hispanics, always. So there's the game. The game is afoot. Are we going to be a people and we have the tools to effectuate that in the Go Free Dialogic, or are we just going to continue to observe and complain?
And these are the jobs that people like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy say we are needed to be filled by the best and the brightest from around the world. And so here is Tyler showing how the best and the brightest are working at places like, well, wait for it.
I want to see if we can find some F1 students in this 7-Eleven.
Now, this is one of those kind of a gotcha things in cuck land that has really no value. So the H-1Bs, the majority of them are working at 7-Elevens. That's so you don't, and I know this is, Mark is making the content for his audience. So he's got to reach them where they're at to help them go to where they got to go. But just so you all know, there's no win to go into a conversation with someone and say, well, they're not correctly using the H-1Bs. You follow me?
In 7-Eleven, because the jokes write themselves.
And secondly, I want to see the moment I walk in there if I will be met with an Indian cashier.
Wait for it.
Hello, question for you. Are you on an F1? Are you an F1 student? Okay, are you H-1B?
Yeah.
You're H-1B?
Yeah.
Working here at 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you from?
India.
It's time we put an end to this lie that the H-1B visa program is needed to get the best and the brightest tech workers, and engineers, and doctors here to the United States, because many of them often end up in places like 7-Eleven. And in case you didn't know, half of all legal immigrants who come to this country are on some form of welfare. So they're not like the immigrants from back in the day who would come here to work hard and contribute to this country. They come here to exploit this country as an economic zone. And they're not assimilating, obviously, as you can see from Tyler Oliveira's video. And if you happen to watch the RNC back in 2024, you may have witnessed this abomination.
So आज्ञाकारी तुम्हारी गत मित तुम ही जानी.
Yes, that's a Hindu prayer being performed at the RNC by, a non-assimilating immigrants wearing whatever the hell you call that. And by the way, this
I thought she was Sikh, and the prayer was to Wahoo Guru, as I recall. So she's not Hindu, and unless I'm wrong. But I think she's a Sikh, which is one of the religions in India, one of the prominent religions. And the prayer is to the weird ass god Wahoo Guru, not my God, not the God, doesn't exist. It's their fantasy. Should have no place in our countries.
This is actually Harmeet Dillon, who is a fantastic lawyer. She is the Deputy Attorney General in the United States, but obviously can't shed her Indian roots enough to fully assimilate into America, and instead is, well, subjecting the rest of us to her garbage culture. At least Ann Coulter is one of the few brave Republicans to say things like this out loud.
Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
I want to hear President Trump talking about the Indian invasion like he has been the Somali invasion.
And in the case of Minnesota, it's very Somalia oriented.
What's the difference between the Indians and the Somalis? Anybody want to guess? Don't say IQ. There might be a measured IQ difference, and that the average Indian IQ is higher, but that's not what matters. What matters is that the Somalis do not operate with the same civility in their own circles as a people group. They'll work together. A lot of them, of course, we're not talking about all of them. I'm sure there are plenty that have become magnificent citizens of the United States and contributors. Ear is against the door. But the reason why you have a Trump talking about, and Dice, I believe he makes this point next, but not the point that I'm making here, but the point that you have the Somalians are fleecing the public. But who else fleeces the public? People of Indian extraction. Not all of them, but there are a lot. They're really known for all of the scams. You can go all over YouTube and you have these people who hunt down the scammers. And invariably, in my experience, every single time I've watched one of those videos, it's been Indians fleecing old white people, fleecing handicapped white people, fleecing. Now, not all scammers are Indians, but in all of these cases, there seems to be a lot of people of Indian extraction. But the Somalis are not working as a people group to influence the Republican Party with their big dollars. What do they have, like Ilhan Omar? They can't really organize it. They're too busy out there buying their expensive cars and getting their white whores and living it up. The Indian community, much more tight-knit, much more effective, and reaching the politician. So you're not going to see the same thing. You're not going to see a politician coming before the population and saying, well, we've got all these Indians that are fleecing the ever-living shit. You know, we bust all of these like phone bank places where they have thousands of phones, and it's these Indians operating it, and they're manipulating views, and they're for hire, and all of these are these things that are real things that have happened. They have criminals too in their community. They're not all angels, and so therefore we gotta put our foot down with this. You're not going to see that happening, because you're going to have groups of Indians showing up, and they're going to say, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We really would like if this could happen, and we're willing to write some big checks. All of us here, all of the wealthy ones in our community, and we can reach out to other Indian communities out of state and everywhere. We can have them all pour money into you." And then the politician will say, "Yes, I'll do whatever you want. You're wonderful. Let's celebrate Diwali."
Think of it. These people come from a crooked country, disgusting country, one of the worst countries in the world. Acknowledged to be one of the worst countries in the world. Some people say it's the worst. They have no money. They have nothing. They come to our country, low IQs, and they rob us blind.
The same with Indian culture. You're not supposed to say it, but everybody knows it. And around here, we don't care about being politically correct, but everybody knows that scamming is a central part of Indian culture.
I I really hope nothing happens to King Dice with that kind of comment.
Trump has been going pretty hard on the Somalis. He recently posted this short clip of the Mall of America looking like the Mall of Somalia.
Wanna drown my sorrow, no tomorrow, no tomorrow.
Watch, my video will be restricted
Of America
because of that music.
filled with people wearing burqas. And now in the Oval Office, President Trump is bending over for the Indian invaders and celebrating Diwali.
In a few moments, we'll light the diya as a symbol of faith in the victory of light over darkness. It's a beautiful term, light over darkness. That's what it's all about. It's knowledge over ignorance.
Get ready. This is going to grow. Their influence, and then for all of these generations, this intense focus on being a shadow and haunting Jews. And you are going to see Indians coming to massive power in the United. They already have billionaires in the United States.
It's about poop throwing as well, if you saw Tyler Oliveira's documentary.
Good over evil. During Diwali, the revelers recall ancient stories of enemies defeated, obstacles removed.
We don't want it cluttering our calendars. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to see the president of the United States now catering to another ethnic or racial group trying to get their votes because we allowed them to invade.
Yeah, I want you to think about the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, and compare her to the Democrat governor of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger. What's really the difference? Spanberger is willing to pay for the white erasure of the once great state of Virginia by any means. They can be legal, they can be illegal. She'll bring them in no matter what. Greg Abbott says, I'm willing to pay for the white erasure of Texas, but it's got to be legal white erasure. What's really the difference for us? So we can jump off this now. We can move on. You have Patrick Buchanan back in, what year was it? I think he'll say it here.
Back in 2011, the great...
Okay, so 2011, Buchanan, so many people interested in this shit. And the things that, the ideas that he shared, and I thought they were just, so much of it was the same kind of feckless, like slightly edgier than conservative content. And he really struck me as a sewing circle member. Like he's like the edgy sewing circle member. And he's held aloft by these idiots as some sort of deity on the right. Could you imagine losing that badly and holding somebody up? And here he says in his book here that America, will it survive to 2025? He talks about the death of the white race. He gets asked a pointed question. I guess we'll listen to that here. He gets asked a pointed question by a reporter, like, why is it a bad thing? Now, how would you all answer?
Pat Buchanan published this book, The Suicide Say of a Superpower. Had to translate that to Pig Latin there because that word tends to cause some red flags to pop up on YouTube videos because they don't understand the context of it. And was surprisingly allowed on CNN to talk about it, but only for them to attack him. Note the subtitle of the book, Will America Survive to 2025? Again, published in 2011. Will it survive to 2025? Well, barely, but now that it's 2026, it looks like things are over.
Your book has a chapter called The End of White America.
Right.
Okay, now, how would y'all answer?
It's a startling term, and I'm curious what you mean, because...
It is startling. Startling that it's been in the works for many years.
Isn't the end of white America, as we see the rise of Hispanics, a good thing? Proof that America is...
Isn't it a good thing? The end of white America. How does Go Free teach you all to respond to this kind of garbage?
a melting pot, that anybody can succeed here, no matter the color of your skin or your...
Anyone can come here and get on welfare and reap the benefits of the heritage Americans.
Religion or whatever.
Well, I'm a little concerned when people say, Pat, the majority of people looking like you, that's coming to an end, Pat. So let me say this. What's wrong with this is...
And it's not just about skin color. It's about values. It's about traditions.
Where do the values and traditions come from? The biosphere, the projection into the world.
Et cetera, et cetera. All these morons try to make it like it's only about skin color.
Is the idea that when whites are a minority in this country in 2041 and Hispanics are 150 million, What is going to hold us together when we don't?
There's your argument, your conservative argument. Anti-whites have endless answers. What's going to hold us together? You see what I'm talking about? Haven't you been told about how brilliant Pat Buchanan was? Didn't you read his book and think, well, this must be really smart. Everybody's telling me how smart it is. What's going to hold us together when everybody has a different religion and a different set of values?
We don't have a common religion. We don't have common beliefs about right and wrong and morality as we used to.
We don't have the same history. We don't have the same heroes. We have many, if not most of them, are spiteful of the founding fathers and the basic found.
So that's the extent of the conservative argument, which, as you can see, failed. Which, as you can see, even brain dead people at home will be able to answer the question. Now, would they be able to answer that question to satisfy you? Maybe not. But they're going to be able to answer that question to satisfy themselves. Millions and millions of our brothers and sisters will be able to answer that question, especially in their selfishly individualistic state, to satisfy themselves. As long as I still got a job, and as long as I could still go fishing, and as long as I could still, buy the truck I want, and as long we could be united on the economy, we could be united in dollars, we could be united on a flag, we could be united in so many different ways. Just you do in your backyard and I'll do in mine. Bullshit. That worked out well, didn't it? Pat had an opportunity there to destroy this woman. What do you have against white people? Why are you so anti-white? Why is our white erasure a boon and a benefit, a blessing and moral to you? Why does the white erasure of the white population of this country equate to what she just said, America being greater than it currently is? Why do white people have to be white erased for America to be great? And then she used the term melting pot. You could go after her for that, and the biological white erasure of our people. And why does she think that's a good thing? You could really destroy this woman. This is why we're shadow banned. This is why, if I were some cuck preaching cuckism, I might have a chance to make millions of dollars. Benny Johnson makes millions of dollars. Millions and millions every year. Every year. You know how much money these cucks, you can't even imagine. The schmucks are making millions as well. The 3 million a year that Entropy pulled in were not from wetting their beak in the dollars coming here. No, it's wetting their beak on all the dollars going to the anti-Jews and anti-blacks. Could you imagine taking a tiny percentage of 15% or whatever it is that they take, and that equates to millions of dollars in a year or two? Now, that's the problem. Stumbling here says it's hard for whites to see the crux of the issue when they lack the lens of go free. 100%. That's why the swashing is the most important thing anybody can do. He says they fumbled darkly after, quote, the daycares were fake. And, quote, the H-1Bs are misused. And, quote, illegal immigration. Precisely. You're 100% right. Very sagacious. You're 100% right. Well, I think it's going to be time for us to get to some quick news and laughs, ladies and gentlemen.
CIA just located a missing American pilot in Iran, not by signal, but by his heartbeat from miles away. Using a classified system called Ghost Murmur, reportedly developed by Lockheed Martin's Skunkworks, U.S. intelligence detected the pilot's unique electromagnetic pulse through quantum sensors and AI filtering. Wounded and hidden in a mountain crevice and surrounded by search teams, he was found from roughly 40 miles away.
So, okay, for all of those who keep saying there's got to be some sort of violent resistance, they were able to use quantum computing to identify a human being by way of his unique biological heartbeats and rhythm. All of this talk, by the way, about they're going to put chips in you and everything, folks, they're able to analyze your unique biological signature with this equipment and be able to pick you out of a stadium in a blink of an eye. You're not going to violently fight back against this. My God. Take a look at where this is going, folks. This Dr. Jabra is saying, I can be wishy-washy with my opinions, but I wholeheartedly, emphatically think these male leggings are an insult to anyone with eyeballs. I'll be starting a petition to make wearing them illegal. Please do. Look at how Claudine Gay this shit is. No man would ever put on anything like this. Ever. I guess it's more suited to this enormous crop of guys in the world who have next to no testosterone. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute with these spandex jeans on. Give me a break. That is disgusting. Oh, what do you know? Another female, enthroned female, this one, a married New York teacher who once posted about helping kids understand consent, was charged with raping a 14-year-old student. Yet again, they're everywhere. Every week, there's a handful more of these enthroned females raping children. I guess women aren't supposed to be in charge. Hey, let's give it up for Stop Antivitism. Elon Musk absolutely agreeing here, saying true with Tucker's statement. Let's hear what Tucker had to say.
Well, just on principle, like every other group in the world has the right to its own homeland except white people. Like what?
Yeah.
Like tell me, just explain to me how that makes sense. Either no group has the right or every group has the right.
Yep.
It's
white people have a right to a homeland, and those are the countries that we built wherever they are on planet Earth. We have a right. Those are our homelands. Those are not places in space. They are inside of us. Wherever we create them by our existence, projecting it into the world every second of our existence, without which there is no Western civilization. Give it up with Elon Musk. I freaking love these videos. Well done, Stop Antivitism. And Azimuth Clark is here, and he says, thank God I found Jason through Red Ice and the Jared George interview. Go Free changed my life. I was an anti-white Jew spurg and white negative. My son is 9 and going free since birth. That is so awesome. Let's hear it for Azimuth Clark and his son, his glorious son of the West. Totally epic. 07s, quadruple 07s, crowns and gems for these heroes. And think about these kinds of testimonials. Shouldn't Red Eye, shouldn't all of these other ostensibly pro-white, shouldn't they be talking with us all the time? You don't get testimonials like that. You don't get children named after you like that elsewhere in the white sympathetic sphere. I wonder what's going on. Big salutes to Azimuth Clark. Thank you, brother. God bless you. Let's keep rolling. Take a look at this. These images of the moon. The clearest pictures of our moon ever taken, consisting of 81,000 images and over 700 gigabytes of data. This is absolutely exquisite. That we can now see the moon this clearly. And you probably, maybe you did, you read about the Apollo astronauts talking about, especially when they looped around the back of the moon, the other colors on the surface. Obviously, a consequence of minerals from different types of meteorites. Look at this. It really puts everything into perspective. Look at that. Absolutely magnificent. White man's technology. The white man's technology. Looking at our moon this close, another world, looking at our moon this close and viewing the backside of it. Magnificent. Artemis might be circling the moon today, but I'm preparing for a close encounter with your... You'll have to read the rest of that on your own. You have to mispronounce that planet a little bit to get it just right.
My wife is great, but she's not perfect. Her flaw is she doesn't like Chinese food. That means that whenever I'm craving Chinese food, I wait until she's not home, and then I get delivery from my favorite place. There's a restaurant called Han Dynasty. It's great. I never told her I was getting delivery from there because it didn't seem like a big deal. But she caught me one day and got really mad about it. What happened was I wasn't home. She was looking at our credit card statement, saw the restaurant's website on there, handynasty.com. But she read it as Handy, handy, Nasty, nasty. handynasty.com. So she did not think that was a Chinese restaurant. She thought some kind of adult website that specializes in nasty hand jobs, which, as some of the guys here know, is handynasty.net. She did not know that, so she texted me, "Why are you going to handynasty.com?" But I read that as handynasty.com. So I wrote back honestly. I wrote, "Well, I don't always feel like going out to get it." So she wrote back, "How come I never knew about this?" I wrote, "I don't know, I guess I always finish before you get home." These Chinese guys come really fast. She was not happy. She wrote back in all caps, "I don't want you going there ever again." And I was just confused. I wrote, "What's the big deal? The only reason I go there is because your father recommended it."
Oh, man. Well, that can happen. Hey, this is, I've showed you this guy before. He'll be on screen in a minute. He takes videos and then he puts himself in the same location for his reaction to the videos. This is what the very wealthy hoity-toity crowd, look at all the white people here. These kinds of artistic hoity-toity environments are full of white people spending colossal sums of money for nonsense. They're all videotaping this woman, I guess she's supposed to be an artist, chopping up red cabbage. I want you to notice that there are multiple people filming this. There was probably some enormous door charge to be able to be present for this genius artistic work on a big stone. That's what white people are doing with their money. Hey, what do you know? Another female raping children? Married Florida middle school teacher accused of a sexual relationship. You mean raping a 14-year-old? The enthronement of women hasn't gone well. I had to show this. This is apparently like a Disney cruise. And this guy just walks up and has like a conversation with this woman playing, I guess, one of the princesses from one of the Disney movies. But I had to show it because there's such a contrast for me. The other day, I was at a grocery store that I occasionally go to, and there is a very heavy set, a little bit older Black-ish Hispanic woman, Puerto Rican, I think. And she's always wants to joke around with me. And I was walking by, she yelled out to me. And so we talked loudly back and forth because we were some distance apart. But there was a white female, a total mid, a young woman who was standing right there and refused to be present for that conversation, even though she was literally in between us. She wasn't busy doing something. She had obviously had already gotten a look at me. And so there was no value. She saw no value in me. So while the little heavy-set, older, Blackish, Cuban woman wanted to have a jolly good time with me in conversation, and we were laughing back and forth, the white female, nothing, zilch. So then later I saw this clip, and I thought, what a difference. What a difference. Of course, this is all play, and you got to pay big money to have a white female, a mid-white female, treat you with any kindness if you're not one of the prettiest faced 10% white guys out in society.
Cinderella, good morning.
It's wonderful to see you. How are you
Good
doing
to see you.
today?
Good. You know, just woke up from a pretty good sleep. You know.
Oh, good. Were you in bed before midnight?
I actually was for once. I know.
Oh, my.
That's a big deal for me.
Yes, it gives you a lot more energy the next
It
day.
does.
doesn't it?
I'm ready to go. I don't know. I'm gonna try to find some food now. I feel like Gus could be good at that. You know.
Oh, he's very good at it. He's been
Yeah.
taste testing you, making sure everything's perfect.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, next time
What's
you
your
talk to
favorite
him.
food?
I mean, I do like.
What's your favorite food? I mean, could you imagine? This is why you got to get a prostitute, apparently. This is why. You can't even be having like a rip-roaring, hilarious conversation with somebody and have a white female participate or join into that conversation. And but here you have, if you pay for it and it's fantasy and it's fake, then they'll be attentive, look directly at you and participate in the conversation. I mean, all the guys out there will know exactly what I'm talking about right now. All the guys want to have a woman that you don't know, like, look at you like a normal human being and have a conversation with you, something that never happens our entire lives. There's also this news from Disney World.
Fart hospitalized multiple people at Disney World yesterday. According to an official report, guests were on the monorail to Epcot when a man farted in the car. The smell was so bad that people started choking and gasping for air. They went to open some of the windows, but they were jammed as they had not been opened in a while. Unfortunately, this is the longest monorail ride, so guests were trapped in the car with no escape and little airflow. Multiple guests passed out on the ride while others started vomiting violently. As soon as the monorail arrived at the station, Disney cast members called police and paramedics to come and treat the people stuck inside the car.
All right. This might be fake news, but that's pretty damn funny. Look at this. Exactly as we've been saying for decades. White supremacy is the root of all race-related violence in the U.S., according to Yahoo News. When a black person attacks an Asian person, the encounter is fueled perhaps by racism. Now, hey, cucks out there, what does racism mean? What does it mean? Don't get out your dictionary, moron. The meaning is in the minds of all of our brothers and sisters in their hundreds of millions. And it means an evil white person. It means an evil white person doing evil things to non-white people. That's how Yahoo News doesn't have to define it right here. That's how they're able to just say it. And they say is fueled by racism, not racism for Asians. No, racism by white people against non-whites. And then they say here specifically the variety of racism that is white supremacy. White supremacy does not require a white person. So there you have it. Just as we've always said in the anti-white narrative, this is how it operates. The proofs we have are just endless. If you laugh, you're going to hell, this says.
I said I wanted a mullet, and that's what the barber gave me.
Look sick, my lord. Maybe they didn't hear you correctly. How many shillings did you pay for this cut? Did you specify which century you wanted the mullet to come from? Tomfoolery in the front, knavery in the back. Do you know the Muffin Man? It's honestly not that bad, it's substantially worse. The bang's a little short, but other than that I hate it. What does your papa do for a living? It's gonna be okay, Hansel.
It's gonna be okay, Hansel. Oh my gosh. And here you have a young woman in the UK, and I'm guessing there's she's trying to fix the tire that has low pressure. Now, of course, we know that this tire is filled with air, but apparently this young woman has decided to use, I don't know what this is. I guess it's either water or for a radiator, or maybe windshield washer fluid that she's trying to use to fill the tire. And wondering why it's not working. Oh, they're so strong and independent. They do know how to rape kids, though. They might not be able to fix a tire, but rape kids, they got that down. I would, if I were there, if I walked by, I would say, oh, no, you've got to hold it there for like 20, 30 minutes for it to work.
The moon. Yeah, that's something. Nobody cares about the moon anymore. Went to the moon. Pretty cool. Black guy. Black astronaut. That's why I thought it was weird. They like went around the moon. They didn't land. I guess they didn't want to hurt the property value. But okay. Why'd they go? They went around the moon. I was like, what are you doing? I guess it's kind of fucked up. They made the black guy do a drive-by. But yeah, crazy. I said, let the guy out. I want to see that guy jump. Holy shit! Come on. I don't know. Who knows? There's a lady up there too. I heard they made a wrong turn. I think they let her drive. But yeah. And I read that the toilet. All
right, let's see what's up next. Now, this is for perspective on the white man's achievement.
Do you know something that's kind of cool? I've been getting a lot of questions about just how close is the International Space Station? How far away is the moon? So I thought this would be a great way to demonstrate it. Here I have an exercise ball. It has a diameter of about 0.67 meters. Now, the Earth's diameter is about 12,700 kilometers. So let's do some scale. The atmosphere is about 100 kilometers above the Earth. Given this scale of this being 12,700 kilometers, that makes the atmosphere about this thick compared to the entire planet, just to give you an idea of scale. How high is the International Space Station? Well, the International Space Station orbits about 400 kilometers, which in this scale is about 2 centimeters, that high above the surface of the planet. Let's zoom out. It gives you an idea of scale. That's why we call it low Earth orbit. It's actually quite close. Okay, now the moon is about 3.7 times smaller than the Earth in diameter. That gives it a radius in my scale of about 20 centimeters, or about this size for comparison. But how far away is the moon? I think sort of standardly when we think about it, we think maybe it's some kind of distance away like this. But that's actually not true. It's much, much further. Now, it turns out you can fit about 30 Earths end to end between the Earth and the moon. Given my scale of 0.67 meters, that means that this needs to be 20 meters away. So we're going to keep backing up. I measured this ahead of time, so I didn't have to move my moon and measure at the same time. We're going to go 20 meters away from my Earth, which is almost all the way to the back of my shop. Here we have Earth way out there, and here we have the moon. This really gives you an idea of the sense of scale of just how far away the moon is and just how far these astronauts right now are as they pass near the moon.
Think about that, folks.
Pretty fun.
Think about that distance. Brought to scale, you could barely see the Earth. That is the white man's achievement. How absolutely epic. And finally, we have this little thing.
Yes, my name is Gail Humble. I'm a medical doctor with a regenerative practice.
Hey, Gail, quick question. Whose fucking face is that? And second, where did you learn to regenerate from? The grave? Jesus Christ. I'd rather take the wrinkles than be Necromancer Buffalo Bill over here. I can feel my face getting tighter by the second.
Yes, my name is Gail Humble. I'm a medical doctor with a regenerative practice.
Rock.
Westmen rise, we're breaking the con. You thought we'd fold, thought we'd forget, but we're here, and we're not done yet. Every word you twist, every lie you feed, we see it all, and we're taking the lead. You can't erase what's born in the soul. We're here for our kin, reclaiming control. White well-being will take you on. Westmen will take on anyone. We're standing firm, we're standing proud. Our voice is strong, we're shouting loud. We're ready to take back what's ours. No more silence, we own these scars. You buried our past, tried to fracture our name, but history calls and we're back in the game. You label us wrong, but we know who we are. One people, one blood, reaching for the stars. No shame, no guilt, we carry the fight for our future, our kin. It's a natural right. Every tear, every loss, every broken plan, we rise again. This is who I am. White well-being will take you on. Westmen will take on anyone. We're standing firm, we're standing proud. Our voice is strong, we're shouting loud. We're ready to take back what's ours. No more silence, we own these scars. No fear, no surrender. We're the storm, the timeless defender. You thought we'd break, thought we'd fall, but Westmen rise, answering the call. White well-being will take you on. Westmen will take on anyone. We're standing firm, we're standing proud. Our voice is strong, we're shouting loud. We're ready to take back what's ours. No more silence, we own these scars. Take it back. Take it back. We're ready to take it back.
Let's hear for Anglo-Saxon NWG for another epic tune. That was We Own These Scars. I love it, man. Totally kick-ass. I love it. Now, folks, you've been waiting. So have I. It is time to bring on the one and only, the OT leader. And that is Biospirit of the West. Good sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I sure can, man. It is fantastic to have you on. How are you doing?
Well, I'm still chuckling over Gail and her face falling off there. That's our poor woman says her face was just falling off. I don't know how people deal with things like that. But anyway, here I am. And
well, that's we see this happening so often. These people trying to be, instead of looking good for your age, these people trying to forever like turn the clock backward, and they end up looking like monsters. And poor Gail, she's just not looking good. But yeah, that was a funny video.
Yeah, that's very similar to what happened to Mary Tyler Moore and that other actress. I can't remember her name, but anyway, they both had terrible surgeries like that. Very sad.
Sure is.
You know, I was thinking about something when you were talking at the beginning of the show. You were talking about purpose, and I was thinking to myself, you know, what is my purpose, and you know, why do I do what I do as the OT leader? And I thought back to it was actually the night that my mom passed away, and it was the last words that she said to me, which was, "Remember the family." And for me, that request of hers has evolved over my lifetime from doing things for my close family, like always having Thanksgiving, always being there for Christmas, remembering everybody's birthday, things like simple things like that, to then becoming very interested in genealogy and realizing that I had this huge extended family. And then from there, finding you and Go Free and realizing that that extended family is our race. And so I've been able to apply that Remember the Family to what I do with our outreach. And that's why I do what I do. It's this love for not just my parents or my siblings or my close family, and not just people that that I can trace my relationship to, DNA wise, or doing my genealogy, but that all of us in our family of Western kind. And that has really given me a sense of purpose in what I do for White Wellbeing. So I just wanted to share that as something to start off with. And,
well, that's really, thank you for sharing. I don't mean to cut you off. Thank you for sharing. It's really beautiful. And it was clearly a natural growth from the original thought. And it followed a natural, healthy path for you. And that's how you ended up becoming such a champion and being so tenacious and being able to endure all of the shadow banning, all of the terrible anti-white news, and then proceeding, because it is that love that's driving you, and that's a really beautiful thing. I really appreciate you sharing that.
Well, thank you. And this is the beauty of Go Free. It's based in love, and once people understand that, it's a natural thing to come to. And the other day when in the OT chat, Anglo-Saxon No White Guilt was going back and forth with a couple of other people about the various music that we have in our community and artists, and was mentioning that he had this idea about starting a radio station for us.
Yes.
And I was like, oh. I mean, as soon as I read that, I was like, oh, we are doing this. And so I messaged him and I said, how much is this going to cost a month? and it wasn't as much as I feared. And I said, the Foundation for White Wellbeing will fund this. And so as soon as you would like to get started, this is a go. And so I literally within minutes, he had it set up and was starting to upload music. And I was so excited that week before you made the announcement on Sunday. I so wanted to tell people, because it has made quite a difference in my mood already. Just listening to the music every day, while I'm doing outreach, while I'm doing my hobbies, while I'm cooking or eating or whatever. And I've noticed that it has lifted my mood, and I now have the phrases from the music are set in my mind much more clearly. I woke up the other day with 007's song in my mind when I woke up.
Oh, wow.
About Westmen, and
Yes.
and I was like, wow, this is really transformative. And so I can't recommend enough that people switch from listening to crap to listening to Radio White Wellbeing. It really will have an effect on your mind, and it's a beautiful thing. So I just wanted to share that. I personal results already in a week.
Well, you're absolutely right. It without question, it has a therapeutic effect. It lifts your spirit. It lifts your mood. It empowers you. This is why the generals and politicians and leaders of various stripes have talked about the importance of a band, of a sound, a music for the revolution. And we have created here, our magnificent artists have created music in various genres, and it's all splendid. It is all truly remarkable. And almost every single one of these pieces has the lexicon and dialectics in the lyrics. It's the kind of, you imagine, folks, if you will, the different times in your life, especially when you were more in your formative years, when you were listening to music and it became the soundtrack for your formative years. And the lyrics, when you reflect upon what the lyrics were, you find at the best case scenario, they were vapid and essentially meaningless. But in the vast majority of cases, the lyrics were detrimental. And these are the sounds, these are the tunes. They never go away. They're in your head. They're always turning. Once you've learned it, it can't go. It's turning in your subconscious mind. It can deteriorate over time, but it can't go away. It can't be unheard. It can't be unlearned. And you think about the damage that this music does. And we know that memorizing things in music is the easiest way to memorize things. And so these things are just being ingested as we roll down the road with our friends, as we're in these formative years, and they're corrupting us. And what Biospirit of the West is talking about right here is 100% true. When you listen to this music, when you allow it to become the soundtrack of your life, the soundtrack of our revolution against this anti-whiteism, this anti-white school of thought, this anti-white victimization, it will empower you the exact same way that you see rap empowering blacks. In everything they do, they are empowered by this god-awful music. You look at the lyrics, though, and the lyrics are empowering for those people. They empower them to go out into the world, to take on the world, to be courageous, to be bold, to be loud, to be even affronterous, to be aggressive. And when you don't have that, you don't have this engine, this element of human nature that is sewn into us. It's intrinsic, that can fire us up with these songs. And so you have to check this out, folks. It is enormously therapeutic. What Biospirit of the West was just sharing right there, and its effects already on him, just beginning to listen to this, and it's still in its beginning stages of being created. And big thanks again to Anglo-Saxon NWG and all this hard work that he's done. So creative, so industrious, such a lover of Western kind and an achiever, a true champion. And then for so much thanks for the great Biospirit of the West to recognize that there's really something here, that something really special could be done. I encourage you all immediately to start listening. You can head on over to the Foundation for whitewellbeing.org. It's on the screen right now, and you can see third over from the left along the bar here, you will find Radio White Wellbeing. If you click on that, it brings you to another page where it says, welcome to Radio White Wellbeing, brought to you by the Foundation for White Wellbeing. And so remember this every time you hear about a new foundation out there, a new think tank or something that does nothing for you, but will beg money on you from you for the rest of your life. It says here, though, like what you hear Want to contribute to keep white positive music 24/7? Go to our donate page to make a gift, 501c3. Thanks for listening, and keep it Promethean. You click listen live right there, and this brings you to a page with the player. And then all you have to do is click play, and I think I have the audio working. So she's white positive. She sets me free. She's the one. Would you rather have that in your head every day? Would you rather wake up in the morning with that playing in your mind? I know I would, and it will improve you mentally and spiritually. So what a great achievement this is. The two of you guys, I mean, big salutes. God bless you, Wes. That is magnificent.
Yes, and every day Anglo-Saxon adds another few songs to the playlist, so there's always new music that's being added, and we've really only touched the surface of what's out there. And when I started thinking about it, of how many artists we have and how much they have created, I believe that probably within a year we're going to be able to create genre playlists.
Nice.
So this if it's as successful as I think it has potential to be, we'll be able to do like a country western White Wellbeing substation, and
nice.
Whatever you can think of, easy listening, and so on and so forth. So right now all of the different genres are lumped together, and as much as I don't particularly care for rap, the rap songs that are mixed in with this, because the messaging is so positive, I find myself liking it. So
yeah,
if I can get over that, you can get over that.
Yes.
So that, and also I wanted to say a big thank you to Dallas, because she made the voiceover. There's a repeating voiceover that happens, and also the voices of our community are interchanged with the music here and there, where people will say things like, we are Western kind, or there is no Western civilization without Western kind. All of our meme curatives that we have, we're going to be making little quick clips of those using the voices of our community. And then when you're listening to the music in between the songs, you will hear the meme curatives, and you'll get that in your listening also. And then another thing that we were thinking of adding in is some of for White Wellbeing's small clips that he's done, where he has Jason speaking interposed with music, and it's very motivational. So those will be mixed in too. And then the other thing, I have all of these ideas for Anglo-Saxon. I don't know if he wants to do them all already, but I've got all these ideas for him. And the other thing is that we have a lot of Christmas music too. So I can see that when we get towards the holidays, that we can switch this over to Christmas music during December. And I there's so much potential here. I'm really quite excited about it.
This is beyond spectacular. I mean, everything you're mentioning there, my mind is like fireworks going off with the realization of how splendidly wonderful this is. And people of all walks of life and of all ages being able to click on their device, turn these tunes on. hear the songs that are going to stick in their head, that are going to be white positive, and stay with them, make them think about what's going on in the world, and then have the interpose the different voices, and big salutes to Dallas for the part she's played so far. Everything you've said there, I mean, just so epically glorious. How royal is this? And again, not happening anywhere. Nobody else is addressing the illness of the white noir, of the spirit of the West, with this magnificent medicament to improve our people, to empower our people, to lift our spirits. Just how absolutely magnificent. And then, like you said, even to interpose every now and again these glorious videos that what was it, for White Wellbeing has made really marvelous, and made me out to be much better than I am, and that's good. People will be really inspired and empowered by that. This is, talk about a healing salve that this can be for our people. How truly beautiful. What a great set of ideas, and what a magnificent collection of people, impressive collection of people able to come together and make it happen. Man, God bless you all. I'm really it's already awesome. I've already been listening to it while I work. I can only imagine now. I mean, it's like skies is the limit.
And we can see on the radio statistics thing where in the world people are listening. So
oh, nice.
It was like when I was looking at the statistics today, there was someone in Germany listening to it, and people in the United States, and Anglo-Saxon said he was seeing someone in Norway the other day, and someone in Australia. So it's wonderful. You know, we can reach all of our people all over the world through this medium of white well-being music, and I'm very excited about it.
I love it. Everybody needs to be tweeting about this. We need to get it out, get it to the big content creators, just like we get the lexicon to the big content creators, so that they can rock with it and then share it with their audiences. Really make a difference, and it will bring so many people around. This might be, another enormous stride in our victories and the recapture of our destiny. It might be another enormous stride on this mountain that we're climbing to raise the sun in the West. Think about it. Think about the people rocking out to this at parties, while they're alone, everything you can imagine. There's so many applications here. Very, very excited about this.
Yes, and my mind goes to, I want to walk into a store and hear this playing.
Oh, yes.
I want to walk into a building and go into the elevator, and this is the music that's going to be playing in the elevator. So wouldn't that be wonderful? You know, you walk into a store and it's like, oh, I know who you guys are. Okay, great.
Yes. Yes. And people for so long have been talking about creating parallel this and parallel that, and it's always been these really childish efforts, really, quite honestly, low IQ efforts, and nothing that anybody, any regular white person, would want to participate in. I mean, you can have like coffee for 10 times the price, and you can potentially get on a list, and for the Secret Service in your country to observe you for the rest of your life, and on, and soaps and all of this. And God bless the people who were endeavoring to do those things in earnest and for our people. I mean, but it was just one failure after another. This is the kind of thing that when regular white people hear the music that we create here, they love it, and they love the tunes. The lyrics are empowering, and I can see this really going someplace. Like I said, like a whole nother avenue of changing our world for white well-being. Just such a fantastic and exciting idea.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it's so wonderful that this is coming to our community right on the heels of the creation of the Shade Tree by Tree Godfather last year, and the success that has had in reaching people. And I really had never thought about doing something like the spaces, and so it was the creativity of Tree Godfather making that a reality, and making it such a welcoming space, having it be orderly, people raising their hand instead of talking over each other, and such interesting topics, and always using Go Free, the lexicon, the wording. And while we're having a kind of a setback at the moment, it is still also expanding. So we have Justin and Robert doing seeds of the shade tree on Mondays now. And
Yes.
Dallas is going to be starting West Coast Shade tomorrow.
That's right.
It's very exciting, and people they come in and they get to find out what we're about, and share where they are and what's going on with them, and that has been much more productive than I had anticipated when it first started. So that's another thing that we've been doing. And one of the things that I also wanted to speak of was the suggestion that Tree Godfather had for the outreach team for getting high likes and high visibility on X. And it's something that we had talked about many times. And I remember that No White Guilt Clips had actually said that this was the way that we should go when we first started the OT chat on X. And we didn't pursue it strongly. But when Tree Godfather came in, he was like, okay, how do we do this? And I said, well, this was the suggestion. And he said, okay, I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden we saw that he was getting hundreds and hundreds of likes, thousands and tens of thousands of views. Excuse me. And
that is awesome.
It was just, it was flabbergasting. And so then I was like, well, I can't be shown up like this. I've got to do this too. So I started doing it. And our other folks saw what was happening and have started doing it. Like Justin is just a master at this, and Diplomat, and
yes,
007, and Robert, and Dandy Westman, and so many people. You see them on the Sunday celebrations now. It's endless, the numbers that we are getting. And so now people see that our memes are getting these high likes, and people out in the wild are using our memes because they equate them with getting high visibility. So this has been another big what do I want to say?
Achievement, accomplishment.
An achievement, a wondrous thing. And so what I wanted to mention that and swing it back to what you were talking about earlier in the show today, which was the Iryna Zrutska murderer being let off the hook. And when that hit today on X, I went in immediately with the accounts that I have on notification, and so they were coming up for me within seconds of when the large content creators were posting. And so I was able to put our memes and a short phrase in, and I was following Tree Godfather's way of doing it. He actually does two. He does 2 posts when he does it usually, and within, I would say, within an hour or so, one of them had just completely taken off. I've already put it in the victories.
Wow.
It you know, hundreds of likes and thousands of views. So this, as horrible as this news is, this is what we have to do in order to save our people, recapture our destiny, and get the message out there. Is you have to pick a list of, if you're in the OT, even if you're just an individual out there and you want to do this kind of work, you pick a list of content creators who have larger audiences than you do, put them on notifications so that you get what they're doing in your notifications right away when they are posting. And that's what you post to, and don't waste your time on anything else.
Yes,
because the point is to get as many eyeballs as possible. And
yes,
if you're going in on a post that's hours old or even an hour old, you've already missed 80 to 90% of the eyeballs.
yeah.
So it really is the way to do it. I encourage, again, everyone in the OT and all of the individuals who are out there doing individual advocacy to use this model, because it really, really does work. And if you want to get on the Sunday board and you want to be celebrated, well, this is just what you're going to have to do.
Yes. I mean, it's truly magnificent that we have, we have a strategy, and the strategy evolves, and we, just like now we see with the music channel that we have, it's another evolution, organic evolution. We have an objective to recapture our destiny, to arrest our victimization, and we do that by being in our own story, and we're in our own story by using the concepts and the arguments that base our story, that found our story, and we then say, how do we communicate this to others? We find avenues, even though people can be censored, and certainly we see some pretty severe censoring. So we find ways to circumvent the censoring, and we just continue to evolve and continue to create and continue to build. And these are people who are all here doing this out of their love. And this is, once again, it's the love that is compelling everybody here to evolve with the evolving challenges, and to make use of opportunities that are available to us. And we can see here with the shade tree, we can see with No White Guilt Clips and his suggestions and his experiments, and then Tree Godfather's suggesting experiments, and then employing these, and what works we keep, what doesn't work we get rid of, and we are a team, and we are celebrating each other. When you achieve here, you're going to be recognized. You're going to be the hero in our story. We all are going to celebrate and pat each other on the back and encourage us to go further, to do more, and talk about a formula that is working. We have many years now of this formula working. We are joyous advocates. We literally are joyous advocates. You look at all the celebrations, and you look at how excited and happy we get from it. You go to in previous years, I've attended other organizations' events and there's nothing joyous. Everything is macabre. Everything is depressing. Everything is end of the world. But we can take a scenario like this, and we know how to avenge our sister. We know how to do more than to just say, ain't it bad? Ain't it awful? Ain't it going to get worse? We know how to make her life have meaning. and to give that meaning to our brothers and sisters, to put an end to our victimization, to stop the Iryna Zaruskas of the future. That's the way to really value all that she was in her life, and this anti-white butchering of this young woman, and then the anti-white systems butchering of her a second time. So magnificently, absolutely magnificently, a big salutes to everybody that you were naming, and all the hard work, and everybody that we haven't named, because everybody can't be named every time. It's just would be nothing but us reciting names. And you, I mean, it's just the solo activists and their enormous victories, and utilizing the same practices that we found effective in the OT. I mean, talk about like a white man's ADL. We're actually the machinery of how do we arrest our victimization? How do we promulgate the concepts that empower our brothers and sisters? We're doing this on a daily basis. We're every single day we're contributing, and we're coming together as those isolated atoms of H2O to form this tidal wave, to cleanse the West, to make it pristine again, and put an end to our victimization. So everybody gets an enormous Promethean salute, and especially you, brother, because you've been holding the OT together magnificently, and the victories coming out of the OT just continue day by day, week by week, month by month, mounting upon just one after the other, and inspiring others to take up ideas and efforts of their own. As a consequence, the white race, we were so neutered, we were so toothless. We weren't able to roll up our sleeves and really do something. Now we're able to do something, and we can see how we have fruits and flowering where people never thought there would be fruits and flowering. But I know we're having so many victories in the OT that it's hard to name them all.
Yes, and another one that I wanted to call out is, again, Anglo-Saxon No White Guilt approached me about several months ago, wanting to start a OT chat on Instagram. And I was like, well, I've never even looked at Instagram. But I went over and looked at it, and lo and behold, a lot of our folks are over there. And Anglo-Saxon has been having great success, as has Hank, as has Stop Antivitism, and others. And so I said to Anglo-Saxon, I said, absolutely, why don't you take that over? So Anglo-Saxon No White Guilt created an OT chat on Instagram. So if you are on Instagram and you want to become part of that team over there, please contact Anglo-Saxon No White Guilt. And that team is also having wonderful victories. Another person that I want to give a shout out to is Cindy Ben. And she has persevered through censorship and having her content deleted by anti-whites, and still she perseveres. She is now on Substack, and she is writing excellent articles about our community. And so follow her over there on Substack, and there you go.
Yeah, you can find that link too, as well as Rochelle's brand new, another magnificently inspired. And this is one of the wonderful aspects of maintaining our character, being who we really are. We're leaders in our communities. We're the best of the white race, and we're going to live up to that statement. And so we attract people like the great Cindy Ben, a former journalist, and as you say, talk about a tough lady, talk about a tough woman of the West, to have all of your work deleted again and again and again by anti-whites and their censorship. guys who fancy themselves, they got fancy, strong looking avatars, and they immediately give up and they go straight to complaining and whining. Here you have this woman of the West that's like, BS, I'm going to do it all over. I'm going to write it all over. These anti-whites are not going to stop me. They're not going to stop my love. You don't need these people so often in these other communities, these other strategies. They think you need hatred. And that's the exact opposite thing of what you need. Our people are not being motivated by hatred. They're being motivated by love. You rebuild and rebuild and rebuild out of love. You don't rebuild and rebuild. That's why they end up always, these other people just end up in these states of complaining. So yes, big 07s to Cindy Bennett, all the hard work she's in. And you'll find her link if you click on the description on YouTube under our live stream and under any of these videos, and you'll see near the very top of the description, you'll see a title, Clips of Jason and Music on YT and elsewhere. And if you go to the bottom of that list, of course, we have so many of our movie makers, our meme makers, or not movie, but meme makers and music makers. And you go to the bottom there and you will find Cindy Ben's Substack. And right below that, you'll also find Rochelle's brand new project, the Westman magazine that we shared recently. And I'm going to be printing that out. I want to get a high quality print of it. And you can have it. It's digital, folks. And it's meant to be, as Rochelle said, she would like people to print it out and to give it to people that they think might be interested. It's a high quality product. So yet again, and this is the other thing, Wes, that you really notice that's very different. And I know you can feel it as well. And so many in the audience in our community will be able to feel it. And that is that in so many of these other communities, certainly over the decades I've observed, all of these endeavors, especially when they talk about the parallel community kind of stuff, they're amateurish. They are, in most cases, childish at best. They're fake. They're kitschy when they make these things, because they start from an amateurish mindset. They start from a kitschy place. It's the thing in and of itself. It's the plastic doodle in and of itself, that if the system produces a plastic doodle, then you'll produce a plastic doodle and everybody will come and buy your plastic. But it's not the plastic doodle that matters. It's the objective that we serve of arresting our victimization. And so these things end up becoming legitimate, organic, intelligent tools in the service of that objective, that because it's based in love, it persists despite not only the censorship of anti-whites, but also the censorship of people who should be on our side, who should be endorsing and telling the world about us. And it persists through iterations of improvement in the service of that objective. That's really what's fundamentally different. And if there are any white people out there who have money, who have connections, who have wealth, and they have their druthers and they want to be involved, and they look at what we're doing here and they look at what's being done elsewhere, it's going to be an easy decision for them. There is a group of adults in the room, and it is the white well-being community, white positivity, and the work that's being done there. We're not childish. We don't have goofy avatars. We don't have $2 plastic kitschy junk that we're trying to push on people. This is a methodical, iterative evolution from where we started with that objective and moving toward that objective with each successive step. So I just could not be more excited and could not be happier with you and the spaces, these shade tree spaces, just absolutely marvelous. As Wes just said, we have tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 West Coast. We have West Coast Shade with Dallas. It'll be the inaugural West Coast Shade. You're going to want to be there. Just this past Monday, we were at the inaugural Seeds of the Shade Tree, which posts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's Justin and Robert's Shade Tree. Marvelously done. We had a fantastic time. A lot of people showed up, a lot of learning, and the original, the OG, the Shade Tree with Tree Godfather isn't going to be at a regular time and schedule at the moment, but it will still be happening. So keep out keep your ears and eyes out for when it is going to be going live. You got to follow as many people in this community as you can, and you have to click that bell. And still, you don't know whether you're going to be one of the people that you're going to be part of the deboosting and not hear it. So that's why following many others will help increase the likelihood that you'll be able to participate in the original Shade Tree run by the OG of OGs, the Tree Godfather, and you're going to want to be there. But what an everything exciting that's going on here. I couldn't be more excited about it, actually.
And just another thing about that, if you miss a Shade Tree, one of the guys in our community, Dan, is posting them on the recordings on YouTube, and so they're there if you, because it's very hard sometimes to find the recordings of the Shade Tree after the fact. Things kind of get lost over time. But if you want a place to go to, it's Dan's YouTube channel, and I don't know what he has called it. I can't remember what he called it, but they're there. So if you miss it, you can find it.
Well, we'll get that channel from Dan, and then I will put that in the description here on YouTube as well, so that people can, if they're interested in catching the shade trees, the various shade trees, after they have completed and have scrolled away on X or been deleted by X, they'll be able to get it there, and all of the great learning that takes place in those spaces, and everything you can learn from everybody's different perspective while using the lens of Go Free is infinitely empowering. And it's the kind of thing that everyone will walk away with insight. Everyone will walk away with epiphanic moments and a newfound faith in the ability of our people to actually resist this victimization and actually take our destiny back from our victimizers. But brother, is there anything else you wanted to share before we let you go and get ready to wrap it up and move on over to the Rebel Roundtable?
I think I'm exhausted. All of my points of talking.
Well, you'll be welcome to talk all you want on Rebel Roundtable, and of course we'll have you back on Wednesday, because this has been so uplifting, genuinely so uplifting, and we absolutely love to have you back on another Wednesday sometime soon and talk more about these successes and more about these heroes in this community that are achieving so much.
Wonderful. Glad to be here.
All right, brother. And folks, we'll be back in just a couple of seconds, actually. I think we can just find, yes, just a couple of seconds. Thanks, brother, for coming on. That was Biospirit of the West. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick look at any financial gifts that may have come in. Then we're going to be heading over to the Rebel Roundtable. If we can just find here, where is it? I know it's somewhere. It's there. Let's listen to some music while we do that. Wasn't that an epic conversation? Isn't West awesome? You couldn't have a better OT leader.
Morning sun hits the red earth plain, breaking through the clouds again. Been too long living someone else's way. Time to let my spirit reign. The wind across the billabong tells me where I do belong. No more carrying their heavy load. Time to walk my own man road. Tomorrow's horizon looks clearer to me. Tomorrow's horizon is where I'll be free. Like an eagle soaring over endless plains. Tomorrow's horizon calls my name. Elders taught me long ago, truth runs deeper than we know. They tried to paint my sky in shades of gray, but the colors wouldn't stay. The cockatoo's morning call reminds me I won't fall. Their words don't hold me more, not like they did before. Tomorrow's horizon looks clearer to me.
Let's hear it for Raymond Foster, the creator of this song, ladies and gentlemen. Big salutes, 007s, and keep those salutes going for Dude Bro a Moment. $50 financial gift from the Dude Bro Moment, ladies and gentlemen. $50. And he writes, as he always does, a real champion for White Wellbeing. Dude Bro Moment, 007s, crowns and gems. Keep it going for First Last, who financially gifted today $20, and on Sunday we missed it, $25 from First Last, ladies and gentlemen. He said, meme curative. Absolutely. What you mean, the legal white erasure? Just give it up for First Last, ladies and gentlemen. $45 today in service to White Wellbeing. God bless you. Thank you so much, champion. Thank you so much. We also have the great Weldon here walking into the House of Swash with a $5 bill. $5 bill. Weldon, thank you so much. And he says, God bless. Thank you so much, brother.
My name. Tomorrow's horizon is clearer to me.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, we want tomorrow's horizon to look magnificent. And it's going to be because of the work that we're doing here that it is that way. We're going to come together and create a people. We are already serving seminally as the creation of that people. Because if we don't, you're going to see this in our government buildings. You'll see some of this action going, ladies and gentlemen. Just take a look at that. This is the symbolism of India and the Indian people. The statues to these gods, these effigies will be painted on the walls. They'll be made into statues. They will begin to show up in neighborhoods and in malls. And is this the Western world that you want to see? This is literally what it will look. No joke. I know the cucks back in the day, if I were to show them this, they would say, that'll never happen. It's 100% going to happen unless we prevent it from happening. These will be the gods. This blue thing right here, there'll be a statue of that blue thing in the government, in the governor's mansion, in the Capitol building, in Texas, unless we become a people. So I just want you to, you look at something like this and you think, my God, that would be absolute hell. This thing's got arms coming out of its head. These multicolored, weird looking. No, this is not our biosphere. That's not our world. We are not going to allow that to happen. Let's have a look over here. We have Heartsaw on D Live, given 1 lemon of cryptocurrency. Thank you so much, good brother. 1 lemon of cryptocurrency on D Live. We have Bayonet gave a like to the stream. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good to see everybody that is on D Live. Great to see everybody there on Premium Rumble as well. Hello, hello. I'm looking for tags for myself, but I don't think I see any. Good to see you all there. Ivan is there. So we're going to be going over to the Rebel Roundtable here in just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. You are not going to want to miss that. It's just here on X, and we will be chatting for an hour to a maximum of 2, and you'll have an opportunity to chat. Westman says here, I'm hearing it, don't know if true, but the astronauts refused to talk to Trump on a space call. Wow, that would be beyond atrocious if that's true. I really hope that did not happen. That would be despicable. I really hope that that's not true. But you know what? Trump, it's not his war, definitely not in and of itself, against Iran. That is the problem that anti-whites have with Trump. It is that he gets in the way at all, and with anti-whiteism. And so many radical anti-whites, since the complexion of anti-whiteism is becoming darker and darker, they see service to Israel as service to the white race. And so it would be the anti-whiteism motivating them. Certainly not anti-Semitism. It would be the anti-whiteism that would be motivating them. Absolutely just disgusting. What's playing over on our radio? Let's see. Let's see. This is the White Wellbeing Radio that we're all going to be listening to.
You push wide erasure through invective and lies. Said it's a force of nature and fate selected our demise. Undermining the very foundation you rely on to survive. There is no Western civilization without Western kind.
I love it.
Contagion spreads, scales of power shift, social morality flipped on its head. And now you ain't shit. You victimized us all this time, and you thought it was funny. Now you can go be anti-white in a non-white country. How fucked up do you have to be in the head to expect me to tolerate you when you want my people dead? Your gaslighting breaks, a savage twist of fate. Load the boats and fill the crates. Eritrea awaits. Eritrea awaits. Eritrea awaits. You despise whites and treat our influence as a plague.
All right, folks, we're going to go out on this Wednesday to White Wellbeing Radio. I will see you all over at the Rebel Roundtable shortly. Roll out.
No, you don't get to stay. Every tree is a place for you, it's very diverse. Not a Westman insight, couldn't get any worse. There's no electricity, masonry or toilets. They even have legal slavery, I hope you enjoy it. How fucked up do you have to be in the head to expect me to tolerate you when you want my people dead? Your gaslighting breaks, a savage twist of fate. Load the boats and fill the crates. Eritrea awaits.
what you wanted, right? A country with no whites. Oh, you have no running water, and you're covered in bug bites. You become emaciated, some do clap you in chains. You can't get irradiated for that tumor in your brain. A ghost of famine looms near, and we ain't dropping you no aid. Water your fields with your tears, and try to cover off the race. Angry mob outside your shack, ready to turn you into chicken strips. You should have thought about that before you turned our countries into this.